You may be walking through a season right now where something didn't work out, a relationship ended, a job slipped away, or a dream seemed to close right in front of you. And it's easy to think, that's it, my best days are behind me. But I want you to know today, when one door closes, God is not finished. He's already lined up another door, a better door, one that leads you into His favor, His purpose, and His destiny. You know, sometimes in life we face doors that close, and we don't always understand why. We prayed about it, we worked hard, we believed for it, and yet the relationship ended, the business deal fell through, or the promotion went to someone else. It can feel discouraging, almost like God has forgotten about us. But here's what I want you to hear deep down in your spirit today. When a door closes, it's not God rejecting you. It's God redirecting you. He's not trying to hold you back. He's trying to guide you to something better, something that lines up with the destiny He's placed inside of you. You see, we often think that a closed door is the end of the story. But really, it's just a chapter, not the whole book. God knows the roads you cannot see. He knows the obstacles up ahead. He knows the people and opportunities that will either push you forward or pull you down. So when a door closes, it's not a sign that you're disqualified. It's a sign that God has something greater waiting on the other side. What you thought was a setback is actually a setup. What felt like rejection is often God's protection. Maybe you've been praying for a relationship to work out, but it ended suddenly and left you with a broken heart. You could sit there asking, why did this happen to me? Why didn't God answer my prayer? But if you could see what God sees, you would know that He was protecting you from years of frustration, from compromise, from settling for less than what He intended for you. God doesn't close a door unless He has another one ready. He doesn't take something away unless He's prepared to bring something far better in its place. The mistake many of us make is we stand too long at the closed door, replaying the hurt, reliving the disappointment, wondering what went wrong. And all the while, God is saying, that door served its purpose. Now I need you to turn your focus forward because I've already lined up something new. Don't waste your energy banging on a door God has already closed. Don't let bitterness or regret keep you from seeing the opportunity He's placing in front of you. Think about it like this. If one door didn't close, you'd never discover the one that leads you to your calling. If one job hadn't ended, you would never have started that business. If one friendship hadn't drifted away, you wouldn't have made the connections you have today. Closed doors are not the end. They are divine pivots. They move us from where we are to where God has destined us to be. The truth is, the enemy wants you to believe a closed door is a failure. He whispers, you're not good enough. You missed your chance. You'll never recover. But God whispers something different. He says, trust me, that door had to close so I could lead you to the one I prepared with your name on it. Every time a door closes, it simply means you're one step closer to your breakthrough, one step closer to your destiny. So instead of mourning over what didn't work out, why not celebrate what God is doing? Instead of saying, I can't believe this happened to me, start declaring, I know God is redirecting me. I know He's got something better in store. Your faith in the middle of a closed door is what unlocks the next one. Your willingness to move forward is what positions you for favor, increase, and blessing. Don't see the closed door as the end. See it as God's way of saying, I love you too much to let you settle. He's leading you higher, taking you deeper, moving you into the fullness of what He created you for. So lift your head, dry your tears, and step into the confidence that comes when you realize every closed door is just another step toward the life God has already prepared for you. That's why when one door closes, you can rest assured God is already opening another. There are moments when it feels like God is taking too long. We pray, we believe, we do everything we know to do, but the door still doesn't open. That opportunity is still out of reach. That healing hasn't shown up. That dream hasn't come to pass. And if we're not careful, we start to think, maybe it's not going to happen for me. Maybe God doesn't want me to have it. But I want to remind you today, a delay is not a denial. Just because the door hasn't opened yet doesn't mean it won't. God has perfect timing, and when it's ready, nothing and no one can keep it from you. Sometimes God allows delays because He's preparing you for the blessing. If He opened that door too soon, you wouldn't be ready to walk through it. He knows what you can handle, and He knows what you can't. He knows the challenges on the other side of that opportunity. And He's using this season to strengthen you, to grow you, to shape your character, so that when the door does open, you'll be able to sustain what He's giving you. What looks like a no is often just a not yet. Think about how a parent doesn't hand the car keys to a child the moment they turn 12. They love that child too much to put them in something they can't yet handle. But in the right season, when they've grown, when they've matured, when they've been prepared, the parent gladly puts the keys in their hands. That's the same way with God. 2 withholds not because He doesn't love you, but because He does. He knows that a premature blessing can become a burden, and He wants you ready for the increase. Maybe right now you're asking God to open a door in your career, but it seems like every promotion is passing you by. You're tempted to think you're being overlooked. But what if God is allowing you to stay where you are just a little while longer because He's preparing you for something far bigger than that promotion? What if He's getting you ready to lead not just a team, but an entire company? You see, while you're waiting, He's not just working on the door. He's working on you. The waiting seasons are not wasted seasons. Every time you choose to trust instead of complain, every time you keep believing when it would be easier to give up, every time you stay faithful in the small things, you're proving to God that you can be trusted with more. You're building the spiritual muscles that will carry you into the next level. The enemy would love for you to give up in the delay. He would love for you to quit knocking, quit asking, quit believing. But you've got to remind yourself, God's timing is perfect. If it hasn't opened yet, I don't need it yet. If it's not here today, it must mean it's still in preparation. And when it's ready, it will show up right on time. God is never late, and He's never early. He's always right on schedule. And when He opens the door, it will be better than what you imagined, bigger than what you dreamed, and more fulfilling than what you thought you lost. That's why you don't have to fear the delay. You don't have to get discouraged in the waiting. You can trust that if God has spoken it, if He's placed it in your heart, He is faithful to bring it to pass. So the next time you face a closed door and it feels like it's taking forever, remember, God hasn't forgotten you. He's not withholding to punish you. He's withholding to prepare you. And when the right moment comes, that door will swing wide open and you'll realize the wait was worth it. There are times when a chapter in our lives ends and it feels like everything we hoped for has slipped away. A relationship we thought would last forever ends. A job we counted on suddenly disappears. A dream we carried for years seems to fall apart. And in that moment, it's easy to think, this is it. My story is over. Nothing good can come out of this. But here's the truth. Every ending is really the beginning of something greater. What feels like a loss is often the doorway to a new level of blessing, purpose, and joy that you couldn't have reached any other way. You see, God never allows something to leave your life without preparing something better to take its place. He's not just interested in what you lost, He's interested in where He's taking you. That closed chapter wasn't meant to diminish you. It was meant to position you. That door that shut wasn't the finish line. It was just a marker along the path to your destiny. Maybe you've been through a disappointment that left you questioning yourself. You thought that job was the answer. You thought that relationship was the one. You thought that dream was the fulfillment of your purpose. But when it ended, you felt like a part of you ended too. What you need to remember is that God is the author of your story, and He never finishes on a negative. If something has come to an end, it's because He's getting ready to write a better chapter. He's not going to leave you stuck in the ashes. He's already planning to give you beauty, joy, and increase on the other side of what you lost. Think about it. If certain doors hadn't closed in your past, you wouldn't be where you are today. If some people hadn't walked away, you wouldn't have grown into the person you've become. If that opportunity you thought you wanted so badly had worked out, you might have settled for less than what God really intended for you. The ending was necessary so the beginning could unfold. Sometimes we hold on so tightly to what ended that we miss what's beginning. We're so focused on the door that closed that we don't see the new one standing wide open right in front of us. But God is saying, let go of the old so I can do something new. Stop mourning what you lost so you can step into what I'm bringing. What's ahead of you is always greater than what's behind you. Don't let the ending convince you that your best days are over. Your best days are not behind you. They are in front of you. That loss didn't stop your destiny, it launched it. That disappointment didn't disqualify you, it prepared you. Every tear you cried, every night you laid awake wondering why, it wasn't wasted. God is using it all to shape you for the greater things He's bringing your way. So the next time you face an ending, don't see it as defeat. See it as a transition. See it as God turning the page, because what He's writing in the next chapter is bigger, brighter, and more beautiful than what you could have written for yourself. Trust Him with the endings, because He is faithful with the beginnings. And when you understand that every ending is the beginning of something greater, you can let go with peace. You can step forward with confidence, and you can live with the assurance that when one door closes, God will always open another. So often when a door closes in our lives, our first instinct is to look back at what we lost, to replay what went wrong, and to wonder why it didn't work out the way we hoped. But the truth is, the only way to step into the new doors God has for you is to keep your faith alive and your words filled with gratitude and expectation. Faith is the key that unlocks the next door. It's not your talent, not your connections, not even your hard work. It's your ability to believe that God is still in control when you can't see how things will come together. You see, anyone can have faith when everything is going right. Anyone can stay positive when doors are flying open and opportunities are landing in their lap. But it takes a different kind of faith to keep praising when nothing is changing, to keep declaring victory when all you see is defeat, to keep believing in God's goodness when life feels unfair. That's the kind of faith that moves mountains. That's the kind of faith that causes new doors to swing wide. Maybe you've been standing in front of a closed door for a long time. You've prayed, you've knocked, you've waited, and still nothing has shifted. This is where your words matter more than ever. You can choose to speak defeat. It's never going to happen for me. I'll never get ahead. Maybe this is just my lot in life. Or you can choose to speak faith. I know God is working behind the scenes. I know the right door is on its way. I know my best days are still in front of me. Your words are seeds, and every time you speak in faith, you're planting seeds that will eventually bear fruit in your future. Think about the story of the Israelites. They wandered in the wilderness for 40 years, not because God didn't want them to reach the promised land, but because they kept speaking defeat. They kept saying, "We'll never make it. The giants are too big. We're not strong enough." Their own words locked them out of the door God had already opened. And the same thing can happen to us if we let discouragement shape our confession. But when you choose to let faith shape your words, you unlock doors that no person and no obstacle can shut. Faith doesn't mean you deny the reality of your situation. It doesn't mean you ignore the fact that something hard has happened. What it means is you don't give those things the final say. You acknowledge what you're facing, but you declare that God is greater. You see the closed door, but you believe there's a better one coming. You face the disappointment, but you choose to trust that it's setting you up for something bigger. That's faith in action. And here's the beautiful thing. Faith not only unlocks new doors, it gives you the strength to walk through them. Because let's be honest, sometimes the new opportunities God brings can feel intimidating. The new job might stretch you. The new relationship might require more vulnerability. The new assignment might demand courage you didn't know you had. But when you've been exercising your faith in the waiting, you'll be ready to step into the blessing with confidence. So don't let the closed doors steal your faith. Don't let the delay silence your praise. Keep declaring, keep believing, keep thanking God in advance. Because every time you choose faith over fear, you're turning the key that opens the next chapter of your destiny. And when you do, you'll discover that the very thing that seemed to hold you back was the same thing that prepared you for the greater door God was getting ready to open. There are seasons in life when we walk through deep loss, and it feels like everything has been taken from us. The relationship didn't last, the business failed, the health report wasn't what we prayed for, and suddenly we find ourselves standing in the ashes of what used to be. It's painful, it's confusing, and it's easy to think, this is it, I'll never be whole again. I'll never recover from this. But I want you to know today, God never leaves you in the ashes. He is a God of restoration. He specializes in taking what looks broken and turning it into something beautiful. He promises to give beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and praise for despair. What you've lost does not compare to what God is about to bring into your life. He never allows something to be taken without having something greater in mind. The enemy may have meant it for harm, but God will always use it for your good. That closed door you thought was the end is only the beginning of something new. Those ashes that feel so heavy right now are actually the soil where God is planting seeds of restoration, growth, and blessing. Maybe you lost a relationship you thought was forever. Maybe you poured years into a dream and it crumbled before your eyes. Maybe life threw something at you that you never saw coming, and you're wondering if you'll ever feel joy again. Let me remind you, God sees every tear you've cried, every hurt you've carried, every disappointment you've endured. He doesn't waste pain. He collects it, He heals it, and He transforms it into strength, into wisdom, into compassion, into a testimony that will bless others. We serve a God who takes what the world calls ruined and calls it redeemed. He takes broken pieces and puts them back together in ways more beautiful than before. He doesn't just restore to the way things were. He restores to something better. Think about Job in the scriptures. He lost everything, his family, his wealth, his health. But in the end, God didn't just replace what was taken. He gave him back twice as much. That's what restoration looks like in the hands of God. Not just getting back what you lost, but getting back more than you imagined, stronger than you've ever been, and more blessed than you've ever dreamed. The challenge is not to let the ashes convince you that your life is over. It's not. It may look like the end, but it's really a new beginning. It may feel like defeat, but it's actually positioning you for victory. Those ashes are temporary. The beauty is coming. The joy is coming. The increase is coming. You just have to trust that God is still writing your story and He hasn't finished yet. Instead of asking, why did this happen? Start declaring, I may not understand it now, but I believe God is going to use this. I believe He's going to restore me. I believe He's going to give me beauty for these ashes. That declaration of faith is what invites God to turn the page, to bring the restoration, to open the new doors. Don't let what you've lost keep you from receiving what God wants to bring. Don't let grief, bitterness, or disappointment anchor you in the past. Release the ashes and open your heart for the beauty. Release the pain and make room for the promise. Release the sorrow and step into the joy that's on its way. Because what God is about to do in your life is greater than anything you've lost. And when one door closes, He will always open another. It's easy to get stuck staring at a closed door, wishing it would open again, hoping somehow things will go back to the way they were. But the truth is, God doesn't want you living in the past. He doesn't want you standing in front of what He's already shut. That chapter is over. That season has served its purpose, and now it's time to move forward. The longer you stand at a closed door, the more you miss what God is opening right in front of you. Your destiny is not behind you. It's ahead of you. Sometimes we waste so much energy trying to figure out why something ended. We think, if I could just understand it, I'd have peace. But peace doesn't come from having all the answers. Peace comes from trusting that God knows what He's doing. You may not understand why the door closed, but you can rest in the fact that it didn't close by accident. God allowed it to shut because He has something better on the way. Think about how a hallway works. You can't get to the next room unless you leave the one you're in. That door has to close before the new one opens. And even if the hallway feels uncertain, even if it's dark or unfamiliar, you can't stay where you are. You have to keep walking because the next door only appears when you're willing to move forward in faith. Maybe you've been hurt and you're tempted to sit down in front of that closed door to replay the loss and live in the pain. But that's not where your story ends. Don't let disappointment become your dwelling place. Don't camp out in a season God meant for you to pass through. If you'll keep walking, if you'll keep trusting, you'll discover that what's ahead of you is far greater than what's behind you. It's like driving a car. The windshield is much larger than the rearview mirror for a reason. Where you're headed is more important than where you've been. Yes, it's good to glance back and learn from the past, but you can't move forward if you're constantly staring at what's behind you. You have to set your eyes on what's in front of you, because that's where God's promises are waiting. And here's the beautiful thing. When God opens a new door, it won't just make up for what you lost, it will exceed it. The new opportunity will be bigger. The new relationship will be healthier. The new season will be richer than what you thought you had to hold on to. That's the way God works. He doesn't just restore, He increases. He doesn't just replace, He multiplies. But you'll never see it if you don't take your eyes off the closed door and put them on the one who holds the keys to every door in your life. So don't stay stuck in the hallway. Don't waste another day standing at a door that God already closed. Keep walking, keep believing, keep expecting. Because the best door is not the one you lost. It's the one that's still ahead of you. And when you trust Him enough to let go of the old, you'll find that when one door closes, God will always open another. Friend, when one door closes, it's not the end of your story. It's simply God guiding you towards something greater. The closed doors are not meant to break you. They're meant to redirect you. The delays are not denials. They're divine pauses while God prepares you for the blessing. The endings you've faced are really the beginnings of something better. And through it all, your faith is the key that unlocks the next chapter. He promises beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and hope for despair. So don't get stuck staring at what didn't work out. Don't live in regret over what closed. Keep walking forward. Keep believing. Keep trusting that God is working all things for your good. Because what's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you, and the best doors are the ones still waiting to be opened. When one door closes, you can be certain God will open another.